Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Crystal Spirits, and today we're gonna go ahead and play some Pokemon Insurgence on the channel. So, I'm recording this technically Saturday morning, technically Friday night, however you want to classify it in this case. I'm probably gonna have this uploading on Sunday to see how it goes. But basically, Pokemon Insurgence is an older fan game. It's pretty well known. It's honestly one of my favorite fan games by far. So, unlike normal Pokemon, this game has a darker storyline that you can get through. So, the game does have like cultists and things like that, and really cool regional variants called Delta Pokemon, and some new Mega Evolutions on top of things, with some unique twists on gym typings and such. So, I'm gonna go through, play a little bit of it, maybe be able to get to the first gym, and possibly beat the first gym. I'm not sure yet exactly how far and fast I'll be able to get through it. So, I'm hoping that everyone's gonna enjoy it. Honestly, Pokemon Insurgence is one of my favorite games by far. We're just gonna go through a regular playthrough, no Nuzlocke, no randomized, nothing like that, just a pure straight story. Let me know if there's anything you guys think I should do a little bit differently with it. Like, should I cut out grinding and things like that when I go through? I'm gonna have the game sped up for the most part. I just gotta figure out what the key was for it, which actually, never mind. I just found the key. So I'm gonna just have it sped up the whole time. It makes training and everything a lot easier. I'm sorry I don't have any kind of overlay or anything like most people do when it comes to Pokemon. I'm really not that good with that stuff. But let's go ahead and just get right into Pokemon Insurgence. Welcome to Pokemon Insurgence. I'm not gonna read this full part here. So we are going to play with the darker storyline. So when we get through the info, it tells you the traditional story is more in line with the official games, albeit with more characters, more plot, and so on. The dark story is a darker storyline. Characters will die on screen, people will use the Pokemon, and antagonists are cults. Pick whichever one is more your speed. This can be changed in the options menu, so feel free to try one or the other, and switch later on if it's too tame or edgy. So, don't get me wrong, Pokemon is fine as is, but sometimes you just gotta go darker. So yes, I'm sure we're doing a darker one. So I have played this game in the past, but I'm going to go ahead. We're not going to skip through the introduction. That way you guys can see just what this game is about. Also, sorry that there's going to be black bars on either side of the screen. Unfortunately, when it comes to Pokemon games, I'm not sure how I can get rid of that. But we got a nice little 3D, 2D type angle. I'm not sure how you'd really classify this. But honestly, it's more unique than most of the Pokemon games. Granted, it gives me a bit of, I want to say, black and white, or black 2 and white 2. So we're not going to do any kind of challenges in the game right now. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be no challenges. So let's get right to it. Hello, is this thing working? Can you hear me? Oh, thank Arceus, you're not gone just yet. You've got to listen to me. It'll return any minute now. You need to stay focused and remember all you can. If you value your memories at all, you'll listen to what I have to say. We need to be quick. You at least remember your name, right? So yeah, we're just gonna go Amikia, of course. Are you sure? Yes, I am. Okay, good. You remember your name. What else do you remember? Are you a boy or a girl? Of course I'm a girl. And do you remember what you look like? So this game came out with customization to an extent before any of the Pokemon games, if I remember correctly. We're going to go with the middle icon because I do like that one the most. So yes, I'm sure. Thank goodness, you haven't forgotten everything. It's here, Amikia. You need to wake up. I've sent someone to fend it off and get you out of here. You need to wake up. Alright, the door is locked and Gengar is doing her thing. Soon Dream Eater will rid the prisoner of the last of her memories. Hopefully we'll be done within the hour. Well, how is our youngest prisoner faring? According to the computer, Miss Persephone, their memories should be completely gone very soon. Everything is going as planned. Excellent. Finally, we'll have fulfilled our end of the bargain. Good work, you two. We are starting the ritual soon in the upstairs room. Will you be attending? Of course, miss. I would never miss a sacrifice. Very well, I'll see you upstairs then. Miss, wait. I have a question. After the child's memories are gone, what do you plan to do with them? Kill them, of course. I expect you upstairs within 2 minutes. Why are we bothering to wipe their memories if we're just going to kill them anyways? No clue, but thanks for not asking that in front of her. You know how she hates to be questioned. Let's go upstairs then. It's always fun to see a ritual being performed. So there we see our character with a Gengar using Dream Eater on her. But then Mew shows up. The Gengar's gone. Go, follow Mew, get out of here, and never look back. Good luck. There we go. Let me make sure all my settings are good real quick here. So text speed is good. Yep, let's see. Alright, I think I got everything good in terms of settings already. So the funny thing is the game effectively starts you off with a level 65 Mew. Not that we really needed that part. But yeah, but you can still of course see its stats and everything. Let's go ahead and run through and see. So if I hit S, that toggles the auto run feature. So we're going to grab all the items that are left behind as well that we can currently grab. Which in this portion is not much. We can see we're locked off right there, so we can't go through. But let's run right over here and go up these stairs. Mew is holding a small note. I chose Mew to help you out of this mess due to its special ability. It is able to use Transform to change its form and disguise itself as something else. However, unlike Ditto, Mew can transform you as well. If you can find DNA, Mew can disguise you as someone else. You should be able to use this to escape the base. Good luck, your benefactor. Let's run up the stairs here. We can see this poisonous, or well, not poisonous, but toxic goop in the water. And, well, there's some blood here. We go ahead and click on it. There's dried up blood splattered on the ground. Obtain the DNA of a Darkrai cultist. So now, if we talk to Mew, we can transform and choose Darkrai cultist, and now we're a cultist. At least temporarily. So before we continue on, let's run up and make sure there's nothing in any of these rooms. It's not all expensive type items, but it's still going to be useful to have these items anyways. There we go. Now we've done that, we can go ahead and unlock this with our fingerprints. We cannot go that way yet. Come up here, more items to go ahead and grab. So I'm honestly really excited to be showing this game off to everybody. Granted, I know the game's been around for a while. I know most people have already seen it. But this is one of the best Pokemon fan games in my opinion. Now before we witness the sacrifice, let's come up here, grab this one too. And then let's go ahead, we're just going to settle ourselves. And so we begin. Miss, please, you can't do this. I don't want to die. You swore when you joined that you would give your life for us. How is this any different? Activate the ritual circle. Darkrai, Lord of Darkness, I call upon you to enter our world. In return, I offer you the soul of this loyal servant, to be bound to your world of nightmares forever. Voco virtutum umbrarum dominum. So we can see this cool symbol that appears, and then the eyes that open up right before Darkrai appears. Darkrai, the Lord of Nightmares, you are the great balancer of the world. You punish the great and slay the immortal. It has been a year since I saw you last. You remember what occurred then? We accomplished something incredible that day. I thought finally you had accepted our offer to join us, but you fled soon after, never to be seen again. But now I call upon you again. Darkrai, why will you not join me? I know my sister has seen you time and time again. Why do you favor her over me? I beseech you, Darkrai, join me. Join the cult that has worshipped you for so long. With my guidance and your power, the world could be ours. Well, isn't that just lovely? It's probably gone off to Celine City to see my sister again. What a waste of a grunt. And what do you two want exactly? Miss, please, I'm confident that if we had another try, we could trap Darkrai here. We don't know why it didn't work this time, but if you'll just give us another chance. Get out of my way. Fire Blast. So she has her Houndoom use the Fire Blast on the grunts, and so they're gone. I'm going to go check on the prisoner. None of you had better follow me. So yeah, we're not going to follow her. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to use this opportunity to escape. So now we can see the grunt is gone from here. We can go out this door. And now we're no longer transformed either. Let's see. So we can kind of see some of the Pokemon that we'll encounter, but we're not going to worry about those at the moment. Talk to this guy. Careful there. Don't disturb a lumberjack while they're working. Of course, I'm running through a bunch of grass, but that's fine. Let's see some of the Pokemon that are available. So let's see what's said here. Oh my god. Sorry about the yawning again. There's a small flute and another note in Mew's hand. Obtain the quartz flute. Amiga put the quartz flute away in the key items pocket. This flute lets you call upon Mew when needed. To use it, go into your bag and either use it directly or register it. Good luck, your benefactor. I could swear I saw Mew here just now. Did you see it? A tiny pink Pokemon? It was floating really close to you. So we're going to pretend it's a no, because obviously Mew is wanting to stay hidden. Oh, I could swear My name is Damien. I'm an aspiring Pokemon trainer. And you are? Amikia? Got it. You came to Telner Town at the perfect time. The Augur, the greatest man in the world of course, is coming today. You know who the Augur is, right? So we're going to just say no. I know who it is, but we're still just going to say no because in theory our character has lost a lot of memories, and no, she wouldn't know who he is. How could you not? Have you been living under a rock? We've been imprisoned under one. He's the guy who protects the region. He's my biggest hero. The mayor and the townsfolk have been preparing ever since this morning. I'm excited. I was just running errands before he arrives. I know. Why don't you help us out? We're assigning jobs in the town hall. You know, cleaning and so on. So let's go over here real quick. We're going to grab this loose item. And I think we could talk to this guy. Let's see, sign about the Pokemon Center and everything. Why don't you take these for a free sample? Thank you for giving me some free Pokeballs. So let's see, now for more quickly, I think this guy gives you something too? Yep, he gives potions. Let's see, I don't think there's anything else I get for free, I just don't remember. Those are the main ones. So let's go in the town hall here. Here we go. I finished cleaning up the road. Is there anything else I can do? Oh, this is Amikia. I met them outside. They offered to help too. Nice to meet you, Amikia. Well, Damien, I think we're pretty well finished. As long as you have your gift for the Augur ready, I think you're done. You do have your gift, right? Oh, well, I may have forgotten. Of course you have. You better find one, and fast. I heard you could find a rare stone in one of the caves in the forest. Of course you need a Pokemon to go safely. No, absolutely not. Not a chance. Damien is not ready to get a Pokemon. He's still just a child. Mom, please. Everyone else in the town already got theirs and have left. And you're not going to follow them. You'll get yourself killed. Why do you care? It's not like you're my real mom or anything. Well, that's not the right thing to say. I've raised you since birth. You're not capable of raising a plant, let alone a Pokemon. You're irresponsible, antisocial, and you can't even... That's enough out of you two. You're embarrassing us. You said your name was Amikia? I'm sure you've handled a Pokemon before. We'll lend one to both you and Damien. Would you be willing to help him through the forest to the cave to help him find a gift for the Augur? Well, sure, why not? Wonderful. I'm very grateful. So it's settled then. Amikia will help Damien to get a gift for the augur, and if Damien shows responsibility, perhaps he can keep the Pokemon afterwards. Well, how does that sound? Fine. He won't, though. Amikia, let's go. I'll meet you in the professor's lab to get an Eevee. She has a bunch of Eevee from her days as a trainer. The lab is just in the southeast corner of the town. I'll see you there. I really hope I don't mess this up. Hey, Mikia. Thanks for agreeing to do this with me. It really means a lot. Of course. So, basically, the main starting Pokemon you get in this game is actually Eevee, surprisingly. Now, there are 3 other options you can choose, but Eevee is going to be the best option to choose as it is the hardest to find. If I remember correctly, it's the only one available in the entire game. But the only downside is that you don't get the other 3 right away. I think you can find them later on. The Eevee that you get is special as well, but you won't find out until a little bit later on in the game. Here we go. Listen, Professor, these Pokemon, they're freaks. No other trainer would want them, and we can't keep them any longer. Only one's for you to take them. You already keep a bunch of Eevee as is. Surely these 3 won't be a bother. Why do you care about them? I know what you've done. It's true. I'm merciless. I've done some awful things, but there's no reason for these Pokemon to die. Hello? I'm Damien, and this is Amikia. We're here to get a Pokemon so we can go into the forest safely. Alright, a little bit of awkward pause. Sylvan, if you don't take these Pokemon, I'll release them, and they're sure to die in the wild. If you want, you could just give them to these kids, right? Put them on the table. Very well. Excuse me, please. So you two are in need of a Pokemon. Yes, ma'am. I see. That man that was in here just now, he was one of my colleagues in university. He's a smart man and a great scientist. He's also the leader of the Cult of Perfection. A cult leader? Those people are evil, Professor. You shouldn't be talking to them, let alone be accepting gifts from them. Tell me, Damien, Amikia, have you ever heard of something called Delta species? So again, I have, but we're going to go ahead and let them do the explanation. Me neither. Then allow me to explain. Delta Pokemon are based on a phenomenon in the Holland region, far away. They're Pokemon that have different DNA than normal Pokemon. Simply put, they're typed differently than normal. An example would be an electric-type Dragonite or a water-type Porygon. These Pokemon on the table now are Deltas. I'm not sure what type they are, but they seem to be experiments of Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. They're scientific marvels. I would love to keep one to study. Now, normally I would give you an Eevee as a Pokemon to start you off on your journey. However, it seems there are 3 more options for you to choose from, so I will offer you this. You may choose one of these 3 Delta Pokemon to travel with, or the Eevee I normally give away. If you want an Eevee, talk to me. Otherwise, take your pick. Amikia, I don't know what to do. I don't like the idea of Pokemon made by a murderer, but I don't like the idea of these Pokemon left all alone forever. You can pick, but hurry up. We don't know when the augur is arriving. So like I said before, I'm not picking any of these 3, but I am going to show them. So we have the Dark and Fighting Pokemon Delta Squirtle. So one problem I would say if you go to play this game, be wary playing with Delta Squirtle, because this game does have fairy types, which means that it's 4 times weak to fairy types. Then we have the Ghost and Dragon Pokemon Delta Charmander. Honestly, really cool and unique looking Pokemon in my opinion. And they got the Fairy and Psychic type Delta Bulbasaur. Again, really cool Pokemon in my opinion. But we're not going with it. We're going to go with the Eevee due to it being the only one that you can get in the game. So, this Eevee is a male. I'm going to go with my typical name for him of Taru. You're right, Amikia. I trust you. If you think not choosing one of those Delta Pokemon is the best idea, I'll choose Eevee too. Then here you are. Hey Amikia, before we go out in this shade forest, how about a battle? It'll be the perfect time to test out our new Pokemon. Let's go. So, another key point to note in this game is Do not evolve your Eevee. It is best to stay as is. I'm not going to really spoil it yet, but I'll let you guys kind of figure it out as we go through the game. So it looks like we have adaptability, which powers up moves of the same type. So Taru is going to be a very nasty hard hitter. And the nice thing is it shows you like your debuffs and buffs on the side there. So we just defeated Damien very easily. Totally didn't help that the game was rigged for us, being 2 levels higher. Wow, you're a great battler. Do you think maybe you could take on a gym someday? Alright, Amika, here's the deal. I'm gonna head north into Shade Forest. At the northern end of the forest is a really large cave, and in the middle of that cave is the rare stone we're looking for. I'll meet you there, okay? Amika, can I talk to you for a moment? Damien rushed off before I could give this to him, but I'd like you to have this. So there we go, we got the Pokédex. This is the Pokédex, short for Pokemon Index. It is a data collection of all Pokemon that I give to trainers. If you see a Pokemon, it will be registered in the Pokédex. If you catch one, the Pokédex will be full of data regarding that Pokemon. Anyways, now that you've gotten that, you should be all set to go on your adventure. Head up north to Tallner Town, deep in the forest. Be careful and good luck. So the other thing I love in this game is that your Pokemon follow you, unlike pretty much every other Pokemon game. We found the Dex Nav. So again, Dex Nav is awesome. So you can see here, we can actually scan, and it'll tell you like if there's Pokemon found. But you do have to catch Pokemon in order for that to appear. So let's go ahead, see if there's anybody that we'd like to get on the team. So definitely not getting Caterpie. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an okay Pokemon and all. But the issue with Caterpie at the moment is, well, the first gym it is going to be useless against. So, in terms of how the gyms work in this game, normally gyms go based off of typing. But in this game, Pokemon gyms go off of gimmicks. So, in the case of the first gym, it goes based off of the sun. So I'm not going to really spoil what typings are going to be there. But that just gives you a pretty good idea of what it would be. So, Ghastly. I would definitely like to catch a Ghastly. It would definitely be a good choice, I would say, in this case. So, let's see if we can actually catch it or not in one Pokeball. I'm hoping we can do it without actually doing any damage, because, well, we can't do any damage to it. So we'll see if we should be able to catch it or not. There we go. So we're going to go ahead here. We've leveled up. And we got Ghastly, the Gas Pokemon. So I'm going to call him Spectre. So basically, if you guys end up liking this and you have names you would want me to give the Pokemon, feel free to let me know down below. And, yeah, I might go ahead and choose you. So, 31 IVs in attack. Not good for a Ghastly, but still decent, I guess. That's going to be really good to train with. So we're going to kind of skip through a little bit here. Pikachu. Sorry, but Pikachu's overrated in my opinion. It's used far too often. Of course, Caterpie is a no. So I'm seeing like the video is already getting a little bit long, so I might not really get very far in it tonight. Because I think about 30 minutes is a good point to do games. But let's see. So I'm probably going to do about 30 minutes in this episode. Weedle, same thing as before. I'm not going to risk getting poisoned right now. So we're going to try and get into the cave. because there should be some decent Pokemon in there we can catch too. So it's not going to be helpful in the beginning. Geodude, no. I'm not going for a Geodude. Yes, Geodude can be good, but it's not really the Pokemon I'm after. So we'll see if we can find it or not. Baltoy? No, I don't think we're really going to go for Baltoy. Roggenrola? No. Come on. Diglett? No. And it has Arena Trap, so I'm stuck having to fight it. Good thing is, having adaptability, that move is destruction at its finest. Oh, a double battle. That is so lovely, but we're not doing that. So, I might not be able to find the Pokemon I'm looking to do tonight, unfortunately. But we'll definitely see later on. I mean, it's like not necessarily a necessity, it would just be nice to catch. But we'll have to see. This ghastly rival is an idiot. And there's an easy double battle done. So honestly, I think that this is, even though this is very, like not very far into the storyline or anything, I think that this should be a good stopping point once we get to the Pokemon Center. So, it's just gonna be a minute here. Ooh, Nidoran. I'm not gonna catch a Nidoran female. I'd prefer the Nidoran male. The female is defensive, whereas the male is more attack-oriented. So I'm definitely going to be going for the male. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead. Just going to have the first episode stopping right here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this series. But thank you guys. Bye-bye for now.